Question in the blind 75 series is maximum subarray. So we are given an integer array nums. So this is the integer array nums. Find the subarray with the largest sum. So subarray is contiguous. The first thing to remember. So the subarray from here to here is -2. We know we also can have empty subarrays. So 0 can also be the maximum sum instead of 2. So we will carry out the int max sum is equals to 0. Then we need to find the maximum sum. So what we can do is we can traverse to each index, and starting from that index we can find out what is the maximum sum that is possible by moving towards the right. So that is one possible way. For example, if I start at I is equals to 0, then from I is equals to 0, then j is equals to 1. So what is the maximum sum I can get? Maximum sum I can get is -1. Then I is equals to 0 till I is equals to 2. The maximum sum I can get is again -1. Why it is? This is because if you add -3 to -1, it gives -4, which is less than -1. So -1 would be the maximum sum. So in this way, we can traverse to the whole array, and that would take O of n square time complexity. So here what happens is there is a famous algorithm called as Kadane's algorithm or Kadane's algorithm. What Kadane's algorithm says is we would traverse through the array, and while traversing we will have two things. One is max sum as it is and the current sum. Current sum, and let it be 0 2. So what will current sum be? Current sum is nothing but the current sum which you have plus the nums of I. So the nums of I here is -2. So current sum becomes -2. Current sum became -2. Now I would update the max sum. Max sum is equals to the math dot maximum of max sum which already is present, else the current sum. So in this way what we are doing is, here it will now be 0. We will understand as we move forward. Now next loop, when it comes to 1, the current sum would become -2 plus 1, which is equals to -1, and max sum remains 0 because 0 is greater than -1. Then at the next loop -3 would come, and that would result in -4. And is the current sum greater than max sum greater than -4? Yes, so it remains 0. Then at next thing it comes -1, which is equals to -5. Then here the max sum remains 0 still, and next +2, it becomes -3. Still 0 is the maximum. Then at the next it is 1, which gives you -2. Still 0 will be the maximum. Then 1, it becomes -1. Still 0 will be the maximum. Then it comes -5. Still it becomes, still 0 remains the maximum because this gives you -6. And then it has 4 and it is -2. But you see that as we go forward, whenever we have the current sum to be minus, current sum to be minus. We would prefer when it is going to minus, we could prefer that let the current sum be 0. So what we can do here is if current sum if current sum is less than 0 then make the current sum equals 0. In this way what we can do is when minus 2 came it will remain 0. Again starting from minus 2 it became 0. Then now 1 came. Now the sum becomes 1. Then minus 3. If I'm getting minus 3 then again it goes the sum goes to minus, so I can make it 0. Then again next plus 4 it goes to 4. Now the current sum will max sum will become 4. Then move forward minus 1 it becomes 3, but 4 is still the great maximum because it is greater than 3. Then minus 1, then it is 2, it is 2, current sum is 3, current sum plus 2 it gives you 5, then comes 1. Now current sum gave 5, so this also will be updated to 5. Then comes at next pointer it is 1, then it becomes 6, so max sum also becomes 6. And at next it is minus 5, after 1 it is minus 5, so it becomes minus 5 and the current sum becomes 1, but still max sum 6 is greater than this. At last it becomes 5 and still the max sum is 5. Now you can return the max sum. So okay, n is equals to nums dot length. Now if I run this works fine. Let's submit and see this. And this takes time complexity of O of n, and this way we can solve it. Okay, so here in this case they are not considering empty subarrays. So in that case what we can do is we can start it from 1 and make this maximum AR of minus 1, sorry 0. So zero. Okay, it's nums, sorry, my bad. Nums, nums. Now let's submit and see this. Why it is so? Okay, now I understood the mistake. So we would start from I is equal to 0 itself, and because when you are starting at I is equals to 1, what is happening is when the first element is positive, we are missing it. Else what we can do is here you can do this, and current sum is nums of 0. This way it can also work. Now and this particular line was after the current sum, but now I changed it to the last line. This is because if I am changing it before, then here the current sum value will take 0 instead of this calculated sum. So I am making it this one here. Now if I submit, still if it is 0, what is happening? Why did that happen? So current sum is equals to 0. Let me know in the comment section.